This is Kenya News Update today. What if I told you the biggest barrier to wealth in Kenya isn't your salary or the economy, but your own daily habits? Habits that feel responsible, safe, and socially acceptable. But here's the twist. These five middle-class patterns are systematically trapping millions of Kenyans in the rat race, no matter how much they earn. Coming up, you'll discover the invisible financial ceilings you're hitting and how to break free. Meet someone we'll call David. A Nairobi professional with a good job, a nice car, and a mortgage and a decent estate. He's the picture of middle-class success. But here's what nobody's talking about. David is financially stuck. He trades his time for a salary, spends to keep up appearances, and feels secure in his job. But that security is an illusion. And then something shocking happened. The pandemic hit and his company downsized. The paycheck stopped, and David had nothing to fall back on. No assets, no systems, just bills and a lifestyle he could no longer afford. This is the middle-class trap. And it's not about income, it's about behavior. The first habit, trading time for money without building assets. The middle-class career playbook in Kenya is all about optimizing that salary. You negotiate raises, jump jobs for better pay, climb the corporate ladder at places like Safaricom or KCB, but you never escape the fundamental equation: your time for their money. This creates an unavoidable ceiling. There are only so many hours in a week. Even high earners making six figures remain trapped. When the paycheck stops, the income stops. Full stop. The wealthy think differently. They build equity. They create intellectual property. They invest in cash-flowing assets like rental properties or own businesses that generate revenue without their direct labor. The distinction isn't the amount earned. It's the relationship between time and income. The middle class optimizes for peak earning years. The wealthy optimize for compounding systems that outlast them. But here's the part that will blow your mind. The second habit is even more insidious: spending money to appear wealthy instead of becoming wealthy. Status signaling consumes a huge share of middle-class income in Kenya. The new Toyota Harrier every few years, the house in Rwanda that stretches the budget to the limit, the Dubai vacation chosen for Instagram clout. These purchases serve one primary function: broadcasting success to others. It's a fundamental confusion about what wealth actually means. Visible consumption becomes the metric, rather than net worth or financial independence. People optimize spending to impress neighbors and colleagues while their actual wealth stagnates. True wealth is invisible. It sits in NSE investment accounts, SACCOs, and business equity. It doesn't drive past in a luxury SUV. The wealthy understand that every shilling spent on lifestyle inflation is a shilling that can't compound. They delay gratification, live below their means, and prioritize net worth over appearance. The middle class does the opposite, converting potential wealth into depreciating assets and experiences for temporary social validation. Habit number 3, avoiding asymmetric risk while accepting employment insecurity. Middle-class risk aversion in Kenya creates a paradox. People avoid entrepreneurial ventures or investments seen as risky, but they blindly accept the massive risk of having a single employer as their only income source. That's not security, that's concentration risk. All your eggs in one basket. The wealthy seek asymmetric bets, opportunities where the potential upside is massive and the downside is limited. They understand that playing it too safe is often the riskiest move of all. The fourth habit, seeking formal education over financial education. The middle class is obsessed with degrees and certificates. MBA, CPA, you name it, but they often neglect the practical financial literacy needed to build and preserve wealth. Understanding taxes, leverage, asset classes, and market cycles. The wealthy are perpetual students of money itself. They learn how the system works and then position themselves within it. Finally, habit 5, solving for income instead of equity. The middle-class conversation is always about salary. How much do you make? The wealthy conversation is about ownership. What percentage do you own? They focus on getting a piece of the action, not just a larger paycheck. They want equity in a growing business, royalties from intellectual property, or shares in a profitable venture. So what does this mean for Kenya? We have a culture that celebrates consumption and confuses income with wealth. But the path to true financial freedom requires a mindset shift. It requires questioning the very habits we've been taught are responsible. Some say this is just how things are. Others say it's a blueprint for staying poor. But here's the final twist. The system isn't broken. It's working exactly as designed to keep most people consuming and working. The question is, will you play by its rules or write your own? Do you think the pursuit of status is holding back Kenya's middle class? Or is it a necessary part of economic growth? Drop your take in the comments. Subscribe to Kenya News Update today for more insights that challenge everything you think you know.